Hello students, welcome to my channel, The Elite Tutorials. In this video, we are going to learn very important chapter for grade 5 to grade 7 students, that is percentage. However, it is also useful for the students up to grade 10. But yes, I am going to teach you some basic concepts and will try to make you capable enough in terms of learning how to solve questions related to percentage. Okay, so this is going to be very useful video for you all. I would request you to watch this video till the end. I'm sure you will get benefited from this video, and this chapter percentage will be very easy for you. You might have heard this percentage word always whenever you get the result and your parents ask how much percent did you get in maths, science, or in any other subject per se. So we should know what percentage is all about. You can see some pictures here that tells you about some numbers with percentage sign like 0%, 20%, 23%, 40%, 80%, and 100%. So let's learn what percentage is all about. Okay. So the question is, what is percentage? It is also known as percent in short, where it is made up of two words here. This prefix per means for each or for every, and this cent means 100 because it is taken out from the Latin word per centum, where per means for each, for every, and centum means 100. So in short, it is written as percent. Okay. So percent means per 100 or out of 100. So any number that is out of 100 is known as percentage of that number, which is written like this. Now let's see, suppose you got 85 marks out of 100 marks in maths. So what percentage of marks have you got in math? If it is a question, you should think of like that it is 85 out of 100, so the percentage will be 85 and percentage sign. This sign is used for percentage, okay, or percent we can call. 90 marks out of 100 in science will be written as 90 out of 100. Out means the number 100 is written in the denominator, and it will be the same as 90, and this 100 below as a denominator just is written as this sign, which is known as percentage sign. So 90 by 100 will be 90%, 85 by 100 will be 85%. You can also see here that the percentage is taken out from a fraction, so we can call this percentage or percent a kind of fraction, but it is not any normal fraction. It is a special fraction whose denominator is 100, and here could be any number. So it is also a fraction. You should remember that. Okay, let's move. So in this slide, we can see that we are going to learn how to visualize percentage. So in order to visualize percentage, we can visualize it through this illustration. I have got 3 boxes. Each box has 100 small boxes inside. So suppose I have shaded one box out of this 100. We can say that it is 1% shaded. Clear? Now, if we could shade 3 boxes of this total 100 box, it will be known as 3%. So we can visualize this 3% of this whole box is like this. Similarly, if we can shade 5 boxes out of this whole 100 box, this could be a visualization of 5%. This one was 1% and this one was 3%. So you can see how 1% out of the whole box appears to be, likewise 3%, 5%. Similarly, we can think of 10%, it will look like that. 25% will look like this, and 50% will appear like this. Okay, so we have learned how to visualize percentage even it is given in the picture. If you can recall, in the very first page, this was a picture given showing 23%. You can see here that out of total 100 men here in the picture, how many men are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times 2 is 20, and then 21, 22, 23. Okay, so that is why it is written as 23%. So I hope you understood how to visualize percentage. Now the next question comes related to conversion. That means converting percentage into fraction, or converting fraction into percentage, or sometimes converting decimal into fraction, or percentage into decimal, likewise fraction into decimal. These are vice versa. Okay, here when we have the question like convert 35% into fraction or convert 80% into fraction, let's see how do we do that. Because we know that any percentage is a kind of fraction, means first you will write the number that is given in percentage as the numerator, and you will write 100 as the denominator, because we knew that percentage is a special fraction whose denominator is 100. Okay, so now this is 35 by 100 when we convert this 35% into fraction. Now if we can reduce it, you can write like how much it is, 5 times 7 and then 5 times 20. It will be reduced to 7 by 20. So 35% is equal to 35 by 100 or 7 by 20. You can. Likewise, converting 80% into fraction will lead you to write like 80 upon 100. So you can cancel it out like 20 times 4, 20 times 5, 20 times 4 is 80 and 20 times 5 is 100. So finally you will get 4 by 5. It means 4 over 5 or 4 upon 5 is equal to 80%. Okay, so this was a kind of way how do we convert a percentage into fractions. So what is the rule actually? So the rule is divide the percentage number by 100. That is it. Suppose you have to convert 60% into fraction. Then what? Yes, it will be 60 upon 100. Finally, you can see that 0 will be cancelled with this 0. 2 times 3 it can come up, and 2 times 5. Finally, the fraction will be 3 over 5. So this is how we convert percentage into fraction. You should remember this rule. Divide the percentage number by 100. Okay. And whenever you see anything common between the numerator and denominator, you can reduce that fraction into the lowest form. That will be your final answer. Now in this slide, you will see how do we convert fraction into percentage. So if the question is convert 18 over 25 into percentage, like here the question is 18 upon 25, what do we do actually? Here, as we know that any number that has 100 as a denominator, that number can be written as percentage. So remember this rule. Here we will use equivalent fraction. If you remember, we have to find the equivalent fraction of 18 over 25 whose denominator has to be, yes, 100. So in order to get 100, we will multiply this 25 by 4. We know that. And to make this fraction equivalent, we will multiply it by 4 in the numerator as well. So this is going to give you 72 and this will give you 100. So now this is just in this format you can see, and for which we can write 72%. And that is your answer. Isn't it? How easy it is, right? 3 upon 4 into percentage, or 3 over 4 or 3 by 4, whatever you call it. If you have to convert this into percentage, you can do yourself now. What did I say? You will write the fraction. You will see what is there in the denominator. Okay, denominator is having 4 here, and we know that we have to make this 100. So how we will get the number that we have to multiply by 4? You can find it through this method as well. Divide 100 by this denominator, right? So you will get, I think, 25. It means you are gonna get multiply this by 25 to get 100, and to make this fraction 3 by 4 an equivalent fraction with the denominator 100, you have to multiply the numerator by 25 as well, isn't it? So this is your 75 and this is your 100. So tell me, what should I write here as a percentage? Yes, 75 and then percentage. Okay, so this is your answer. I hope you understood how to convert fraction into percentage. Now, there may be some different questions actually, but make sure that you are trying to convert the fraction into an equivalent fraction with denominator 100, and whatever numerator will be there in the new fraction, with that numerator you can use the percentage sign, okay, to get your answer. So the rule is multiply the fraction by 100. It is easy. Okay. The rule is multiply the fraction by 100. This way we can get the answer easy. Like for example, 18 by 25 was our question. They are saying that just multiply the fraction by 100. Okay. So we are going to multiply this by 100. But see, it is not only the 100. It should be actually the 100%. Okay, why I will tell you. Now this is your 4 times, okay, 25 is 100, 18 times 4 is 72, and this sign is there. So the rule must be multiply the fraction by 100%, not 100. Reason is 100% means 100 upon 100, which is going to be equal to 1. So any number, for example here 18 by 25 got multiplied by 100% means it got multiplied by 1. So it is still the same. We are not going to tinker anything with this given question as fraction. We are not tinkering, okay? And that's how we get the conversion from fraction to percentage. I hope you understood. Let's move to the next. Here in this slide, we can see that the topic is convert decimals into percentages. Okay, so I have 3 questions here for you. I will help you how to solve it, and I will also tell you what is the rule of converting a decimal into percentage. So the question is convert 0.45 into percentage. As of now, we have learned how to convert a fraction into percentage, and this is a decimal number. So first of all, we will convert this decimal number into a fraction. So we know that 0.45 can be written as 45 upon 100, if you know this. Okay, now we have got this decimal number converted into fraction, and we know that from fraction to percentage it is easy, because we have got 100 already there in denominator. So whatever the number in the numerator is there, with that number we can use this sign of percentage and we'll get our answer. So 0.45 or 0.45 is equal to 45% in conversion, right? Likewise, here it is 0.5 or 0.5 into percentage. We know that 0.5 will be written as 5 by 10. Okay, I'm writing it here. 0.5 or 0.5, whatever you say, is equal to 5 by 10. But here it is 10, not 100. So in order to make this 100, we can do one thing. We will multiply this numerator by 10 and the denominator by 10 as well. It will give us 50 by 100, and then 50 by 100 can be written as 50%. I hope you understand. It's very easy. This is one way of doing this, and I'll tell you the trick as well. Now this, if you have to convert, you know that's 1.25 can be written as 125 upon 100. That is how we write this kind of fraction into a decimal like this, isn't it? So we can see here that it is nothing but the number that is there in the numerator will be written down and a sign will be followed, which is a percentage sign. That's it. So this is one way that we learned. Okay, we first converted the decimal number into the fraction, and then from fraction to percentage. Now suppose we have to convert it directly, then is there any method that we can convert directly from decimal to percentage? Yes, there is. Okay, so what is the rule? Multiply the decimals by 100. That is the rule. See how it goes like, okay, multiply the decimal by 100. And this is the rule here. Multiply the decimals by 100. So your decimal number is 0.45. If you are asked to multiply this by 100, what will it give you? It will give you 45, right? and you can write the percentage sign. But as I told you, everywhere try to use the sign as well of percentage, because this 100% is actually equal to 1 and you are multiplying this number by 1. Okay, we are not tinkering anything here. It is the same as we have done earlier in the previous slide. Okay, so this is the rule you have to follow. For example, here it was 1.25, and now the rule says that multiply this decimal numbers by 100. I am saying 100%, so you will write this by multiplying by 100%. When you multiply this by 100 only, you will see what you are going to get. You will get 125 and this sign will be written. Okay, so that you get the final answer, isn't it? So I hope you have learned this thing as well. Converting a fraction into percentage, a percentage into fraction, or decimal into percentage, or vice versa. Suppose there was a question of converting percentage into decimal. It would also be easy for you, right? Percentage into decimal means what? Suppose there was a question of converting 60% into decimal. So we know that this percentage can be written in the fraction format like this, and whenever we have to convert this into a decimal, it would be quite easy for us, isn't it? Let me clear it in the next slide. So the question was converting 60% into decimal. So 60% first will be written as 60 upon 100. Okay. Now we can see that 60 upon 100 means we can convert this into a decimal like 0.60 or 0.6 only. So how do we convert a fraction into decimal? That you should know. Okay. So let's see actually how I did it. It was 60 upon 100. Okay, we know that for every whole number, the decimal lies at the end of its unit digit number, right? So the decimal is here, it is lying. That is why we sometimes write 5 is equal to 5.0, 5.0, not or 5.0, whatever you can call it. Okay, so here actually 60 can also be written as 60.0. Okay, or if we don't consider this because we don't need to use this zeros here, because we are going to divide this 60 by 100, the decimal point is here. For each zero in the denominator, we are moving towards left one digit place. Okay, and now suppose we are removing this zero from the denominator, my decimal will move up to here. For this zero, my decimal will move to this place. Now the new place of the decimal is here, and that is why we write like 0.6. Okay, 0 was already there here, we can write, no problem, but we don't write any decimal number starting from decimal point only. Okay, if there is nothing in the whole number, we will use 0 just to make it look beautiful. Okay, and this is a rule actually, that you have to write one whole number. If there is nothing, write 1 0 over there. Okay, so 0.60, and we also know that any 0 at the end of the significant number like 1 to 9, it is useless. Okay, so we can also rewrite this like 0.6. That is how I did. Okay, let's see in the next. So in this slide, I have got some question for you, and that is why I have written here that do it yourself. It is all about conversion between all these three terms, that is fraction, decimals, and percents. Okay, for example, I can make one for you. If one is given like 0.5, that is decimal is given, so from decimal you have to convert into a percentage and also a fraction, isn't it? You can see here that 0.5 into percent, as I told you earlier, that just multiply a decimal number by 100%, you will get this percent. Okay, percentage sign is already written down here, so we can just think of multiplying this by 100. So 0.5 multiplied by 100 will give you how much? Now this time when we are multiplying a decimal number by 100, what will happen? This decimal point will move towards right side. For each zero, one step, okay, or one digit. So now after removing this is coming over here. So it will be 5, and then 10 from here, it will be 50. Understand? So it is going to be 50 here. 50% is equal to 0.5. And now as far as fraction is concerned, you can convert into fraction from this decimal, like 0.5 is written as 5 upon 10. So you can finally write it as half. You know that 50% is equal to half because 100% is one whole. So 50% is half. Okay. So this is equal to this, and that is actually equal to a decimal number, that is 0.5. I hope you can do others. Okay. Here you will have to know how do we convert a percentage into decimal or fraction. We know very easily, actually we know very well that how we convert percentage into fraction. Okay, so first you will do this to this, and then you will also do into decimal because you know how to do this. Okay, so take this as a classwork. After pausing this video, taking 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever time it takes, please fill this up and then move to the next slide. Okay, actually in this slide we will know how to solve questions like this that are 75% of 80 or 0.4% of 1 meter, or kind of 40% of rupees 60 or 12% of 18.6 kg. For this kind of banners near the mall or in any supermarket, okay, that 50% sale is there, 45% off is there, or there's a discount of 70% kind of stuff. Okay, so you have to calculate, actually, suppose any shirt you are going to buy or any stuff you are going to buy worth rupees 200, and there is a tag mentioning 40% off, then you have to think how much you are going to pay. So you have to calculate that. Okay, so learning this method is important. Okay, see how do we do that? Finding the value of 75% of 80. So as we know that, first we will convert this 75% into a fraction, 75 upon 100. Okay, it is all about converting a percentage into a fraction. Now this off means actually multiplication. You know that, okay, from Bodmer's rule, and this will be 80. Now this is nothing but a multiplication of a whole number to a fraction. So we can easily do that. This 0 will be cancelled with this 0. Okay, 5 times 2 and 5 times 1 is 5, and then 5 times 5 is 25. This 2 will cancel this 8 by 4 times. Now 15 and 4 is there. Here it is 1 only. So we can write 60 upon 1, which is actually 60. So 75% of 80 is equal to 60, isn't it? Now that is why I said that suppose you have to find out what will be 40% discount. So this question is very much related to this kind of a discount. Suppose that you are going to buy anything that is worth rupees 60, but there is a tag mentioning 40% off. So how much you are going to pay? So first you will calculate what kind of discount you are going to get. Okay, so this will tell you how much discount you are going to get. 40% off or 40% off 60. So the same process. Yes, if you remember, this will be converted into a fraction. Of means multiplication, and this rupees 60 will be written like this. You are going to cancel it out, this 0 to this 0 and this 0 to this 0. Now nothing is here in the denominator. Everything is there on the numerator. 4 and 6. 4 times 6 will give you how much? 24. So it will be rupees 24, and that is your answer. For this, you just think what it is going to be. Yes, it will be 0.4 upon 100. We can write like this only. If it is a decimal with the percentage sign, we will write that decimal number in the numerator, isn't it? Of 1, and this is all about meter. So we can think of that. Okay. Now, it will, if I use this as a meter, okay, we will get like this, this decimal will move to the left side how many places? If we are dividing this by 100, 2 places. For 1 places 0 is already there. For the second place we have to fill this with 0. The decimal is coming over here. So your answer will be 0.004 meter. But is it okay to write the answer like this? Yes, it could be an answer. Now from meter to centimeter or millimeter you can convert. From meter to centimeter, if you have to convert, naturally we'll multiply this by 100. If you multiply this by 100, this will move to the right side 2 places and it will be equal to 0.4. Now it is centimeter, isn't it? So from centimeter to millimeter, if you have to convert, then again you can convert. How many millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter? Yes, 10. Yes. So again, if you multiply this by 10, you will get 4. And that will be millimeter. So actually 0.4% of 1 meter is nothing but 4 millimeter, isn't it? Here one more question is there. 12% of 18.6 kg. So 12% will be equal to 12 by 100. Okay, 18.6 kg. You can write 18.6. Answer will be kg, no problem. But if you want this answer to be in grams so that there is no decimal numbers, okay, then you have to convert this kilogram into gram, and 1000 gram is equal to 1 kg. So I have to multiply this kg into gram, multiplying by 1000. Okay, so now we have got 12 by 100 times 18.6 multiplied by 1000. This 20 from here can be cancelled with 20 from here. 18.6 multiplied by 10 will give us 18.6, that is 186. So it is going to be 12 times 186. And remember one thing, now the unit has changed from kilogram to gram. So whatever you will get as the product of this, that will be your answer, isn't it? And the final answer will be 2232 grams if you multiply 186 by 12. Okay, so that is how we find percentage of a number. Let's see what is there in the next. Okay, so we have some more questions in this slide, right? What percent is 60 of 80? 6 paise of rupees 6 or 800 meter of 5 kilometer. So yes, this is something you have to use your brain. See, you are going to convert actually 60 upon 80, a fraction, into percentage. That is how you have to think. You are converting 6 paise out of 6 rupees, which can further be written as 600 paise, because whatever unit will be there in the numerator, the same unit has to be there in the denominator, so that finally you can cancel the units and only the numbers are there. And you should know that the percentage of ratio doesn't have any unit attached to it. Okay, so that is why we have to find the same unit in both the numbers. Here it is unitless, so no problem. But here also you can see it is a meter, it is a kilometer. You have to convert this kilometer into meter first, and then you can use this number in the numerator and this number in the denominator. Okay, with same unit. So this is a fraction first. Think of that. 60 of 80 means 60 out of 80, right? 6 paise of rupees 6 means 6 paise out of 600 paise. 800 meter of 5 kilometer means 800 meter out of 5000 meter, because 5 kilometer is equal to 5000 meter. So first you think like that. Okay, so this is going to be cancelled here as well. 60 by 80, 6 by 600 or 800 by 5000, they all are fractions. Now if it is a question of finding the percentage of this, you have to use the conversion method, okay, from fraction to percent, and you will get the answer. So how do we get? You know, yes, a fraction can be multiplied by 100%, to get the percentage. This also 6 by 600 will be multiplied by 100% to get the answer. This also will be multiplied by 100%. In short, actually, this is the quick method. Okay, this is the trick actually. You can multiply this by 100% and you will get the answer. Now, try to use this 100, 20 from here, 20 from there, it will be cancelled, 10 from here, 10 from here, it will get cancelled. 80 is there in the numerator and 5 in the denominator. So 5 16 times is 80. Your answer is going to be how much? 16%. Likewise, here you can see that this 20 here in the denominator will get cancelled with this 20 here. Okay, this is actually a numerator, isn't it? We can write any number as a fraction with that number and numerator and 1 as the denominator. But we don't write like, okay? Think like that. This number which is not having any denominator is actually a number in the numerator part or numerator side. So 6 is left out here. 6 will be cancelled with this 6 and finally you will get nothing but 1% agreed. Likewise here you can see that this 0 will get cancelled with this 0. Now 2 times 3, 2 times 4. Okay, 4 times 25 is 100. 25 times 3 is equal to how much? 75%. Okay, so this is how you can find the answers quickly. Now suppose you have to write the answers in explained way. It will be like this, okay? You will use this word like required percentage. That is what is being asked here, okay? So required percentage is going to be what percent is 60 of 80? So required percentage, you can write like 60 upon 80 and then 100%, and the way we found answer, that will be written down. So you can write required percentage like that. So okay, let's move to the next. In this slide, you can see that the question is what problem, okay? So the question is there are 160 apples in a box, 15% of the apples got spoiled in them. How many good apples are there in the box? So some apples are spoiled and some apples are good, okay? So how do we find that? So we will write things like total number of apples given in the box first. So the total number of apples actually are 160, isn't it? Yes. Now we have to find out spoiled apples. Now in the question, the percentage of spoiled apples are 15%. So percentage of spoiled apples are 15%. So first we have to find out the number of spoiled apples, and this we can find from the question. It is given 15% of the apples are spoiled. So we will write 15% of the apples means the total apples. The total apples is 160. Now 15% of 160 you have to calculate, okay? It will be 15 upon 100 multiplied by 160. If you go like this, you will see that it is cancelled, 0 to 0. 5 times 2 here and 5 times 3 there will give you 15 and 10, and 2 and 16 can still be cancelled by 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 8 times 3 is finally 24. So out of 160 total apples, 24 apples are spoiled. So what will be the number of good apples? You can think. So number of good apples in the box will be equal to 160 minus 24, and the number will be how much? Tell me. Yes, 4 6 is 10. Now here it is 5 minus 2 is 3, and now 136. That is your answer, isn't it? Yes, very good. There is one more method actually to find it. If you can use that, if 15% are spoiled, then 85%, okay, are good apples, isn't it? Because 15 plus 85 makes it 100%, and 100% means the total. So from the total, 85% are still good apples. So we can find it directly as well. If they are asking how many good apples are there in the box, what we are going to do? We will do only this thing, okay? Like 85% was good apple out of 160. So 85% of 160, the calculation of this will give us the direct answer, okay? And the same answer you will get 136 if you calculate it. You can see 85 by 100 multiplied by 160. Again, you can cancel this 0 to 0. 5 times 2 and 5 times 17 here. 2 times 8. 17 times 8 will give you how much? You can think. 17 times 8 is just 136. And that is how we can get the answer this way as well, okay? Because we should know that 100% means total, or 100% means complete, okay? So from the total of the apples, 15% are spoiled, then it will be 80% that will be good. It means 85% is good. And how do you get that? You have to subtract the given percentage by 100 to get the number of the other side, okay? Now the next question is, the price of an egg increased from 4 to 5. What is the percentage increase? So first we have to find out what is the increase in price. And it is very easy to find what is the increase in the price, isn't it? Increase in price is from rupees 5, we have to subtract rupees 4. Okay, that will give us the increase. So the rupee 1 is the increase in price. Now we have to find out the percentage increase. So we have to think that rupee 1 which is increased is from where? Out of what? So that out of will be written as the denominator. So 1 rupee increment took place out of 4 rupees, because from 4 to 5 it jumped, right? So when we have to find out the percentage increase, what we will be doing is we will use a fraction here. That percentage increase is actually rupee 1, an increase of rupee 1 out of rupee 4. This was a fraction, and now when it is asked about percentage, we knew that any fraction can be converted into a percentage by multiplying that fraction by 100, and this sign we will be using, okay? The number will get involved in calculations, and this sign will be written as the final answer. So it is going to be 25, because 25 times 4 is 100. So we will finally write 25%, and that is your answer. I hope you understand this, okay? So you can have some questions related to decrease in amount, like if the question was the price of an egg decreased from 5 to 4, what is the percentage decrease? Just think of that, okay? So first you have to find what is going to be your fraction like from the question, okay? Here from this question the fraction was 1 upon 4. From that question it will be, if it is a decrease, from 5 to 4, okay, the fraction will be 1 upon 5, and then you will multiply it by 100%, and there the answer will be 20%, okay, 20% what? Decrease, if the question is like that, okay? And what is this actually? This is increase. Percentage increase is this, and this will be percentage decrease. Remember one thing, if the question is same but the numbers are interchanged. I hope you understand, okay? Let's move to the next slide, and I think it's the final question here. In an examination, there were 640 boys and 360 girls. 60% of the boys and 80% of the girls were successful. How many in all failed? Okay, we can find the solution to this question in two methods. Okay, one method is, as I told you, 60% of the boys are successful. It means percentage failed boys is how much? If 16% has passed or are successful, then it will be 40% that have failed, okay? And among the girls, it will be how much? See, they are saying that 80% of the girls are successful. So the girls who might have failed would be how many percent? 20%. Why? Because 20%, 80% becomes 100%. Okay. So from total, if 80% passed, then 20% failed. As simple as that. From the total, if 60% passed, then 40% failed. Okay. Now, if you have to find out how many in all failed, so from here onwards, we can move further. Okay. That the number of failed boys. Okay. The number of failed boys will be how much? Yes, it will be 40% of the total number of boys. The total number of boys is how much? 640, isn't it? So you have to calculate this 40 upon 100 multiplied by 640. And now you can see what you are going to get. This 0 will get cancelled with this 0. This 0 will get cancelled with this 0. 64 and 4 is there. As a multiplication, you will get 4 times 4 is 16. 1 is carried over. 6 times 4 is 24. And 1 carried over will get added to make it 256. So number of failed boys are 256. Okay. Now the same way you have to find out number of failed girls. So number of failed girls will be how much? Yes, number of failed girls, the percentage of failed girls is 20%. So you will see that 20% girls failed out of how many girls? Yes, 360 girls. Okay, so 20% of 360. Okay, 20% means 20 upon 100 multiplied by 360. See what it is going to give you. This 0 will get cancelled with this 0. 36 times 2 will give you how much? 72. So out of 360 girls, 72 failed. Out of 640 boys, 256 boys failed. Now the question is total failed students, okay, including boys and girls. So the total failed will be equal to 256 plus 72. That will be equal to how much? You can calculate. 2 plus 6 is 8. 7 plus 5 is 12. 1 is carried over. 2 plus 1 is 3. So 328 students in all failed. Okay. And that is your answer. If you are going to find this way out. Okay. Failed boys in percentage, failed girls in percentages, like that, and then you can go further. Now if we have to find the solution in a different method, that will be like this. There were 640 boys and 360 girls. 60% of the boys and 80% of the girls were successful. So first we will find out the number of successful boys and number of successful girls. Okay, so number of successful boys will be equal to how much? 60% out of 640, right? So you will find 60% of 640. 60% of 640 you have to calculate. It is going to be 60 by 100 into 640. When you cancel these 20 from the bottom, 20 from the top, you will get the answer 64 times 6. So how it is? 4 times 6 is 24 and 2 is carried over. 6 times 6 is 36 and 2 will give it 384. So number of successful boys are 384. So you have to also know that what is the number of failed boys, isn't it? So yes, number of failed boys will be equal to total number of boys, that is 640 minus the number of successful boys, that is 384. Okay, so you can get it like 6 and 5 and then 5 minus 3 is 2. 256 number of boys have failed, isn't it? Likewise, from this data, 80% of the girls were successful out of 360 girls. You have to find out the number of successful girls, then number of failed girls, like that. Okay, so let's see. So number of successful girls will be equal to how much? 80%, right? 80% of how many girls are there? 360 girls are there. If you calculate, what will be the answer? You will see 80 by 100 multiplied by 360. This 0 will get cancelled with this 0. This 0 will get cancelled with this 0. On the top, the numbers are 8 and 36. We will multiply these two numbers and get the product. 8 times 6 is 48. You will write 8. 4 is carried over. 8 times 6 is 24. And then that 4 will make it 28, isn't it? So 288 girls were successful. So what are the number of the girls that failed? So the number of girls who failed will be equal to 360 minus 288, isn't it? You will get the answer as 2 here, and 5 minus 8 are 7, 72. So 72 number of girls have failed. From here to 56 number of boys failed. Now the question is how many in all failed? So the answer will be, you have to add these two numbers, right? This number that is from the boy side and this number that is from the girl side. You have to add these two numbers to get your final answer. 256 plus 72, and the answer will be 2 plus 6 is 8, 7 plus 5 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, 328 is your final answer. We can check whether the answer that we got from the first method is correct or not, or matching with this answer or not. Okay, yes, it is matching with the previous answer as well, which we got in a different way of solution. Okay students, so that's it for this video on the chapter percentage. Maybe in my next video I will introduce to you all some difficult questions, word problems and other problem solvers that I will take out from IIT Foundation book for grade 6 and 7, ICSE board grade 6 and 7 likewise. Okay, so that you can have a deep knowledge of solving questions related to percentage. See you in my next video. Till then, please take care of yourself. Keep watching my videos, keep learning and keep practicing at home. Kindly subscribe my channel, like it, and also share this video among your friends. Okay, bye, take care.